What is up, guys? Welcome to Barrookie. In today's video, we're going to see the difference between a plate loadable weight vest and a dip belt. And I must say, I'm biased towards the dip belt, but I still want to check out the difference between the two now that I've bought the Kensu weight vest. Bear with me, in the thumbnail you saw me using the dip belt without a loading pin because that's more presentable. But I like to use the dip belt with a loading pin. I have a separate video on why that is. But basically, we're going to show everything with a loading pin, but that shouldn't change the outcome of the comparison too much. Also, we're going to look at 7 different components where we compare the dip belt versus the weight vest. And bear with me, we're going to keep this short and snappy, and if you want to search in between the different sections, you can do that because this video will be timestamped. Also, I want to ask you in the comment section, let me know what your preference is. Are you team dip belt or are you team weight vest? So first we're going to talk about the setup time. How long does it take to put on each and everything? And then we're going to talk about maneuverability and movability. And then we're going to talk about changeability. How quickly can we change weight? And then switchability. So I'm typically training with a partner. So how easy can you transition between two people? And then we're going to check out the exercise selection because each and every one is going to have an advantage over different exercises. And then we're going to talk about price and we're going to talk about durability because materials are very important as it comes to longevity of the equipment that we have. So let's start with setup time. I'm going to split myself in two. We're going to put on weights and we're going to see which one is the fastest. So yeah, let's go. Okay, I think it's pretty clear who won the setup time. Definitely the dip belt. On to the next one. Yes, I'm going to keep this on because it's just a hassle. So now we're going to go over movability. So how well can we walk and go from the place where we set up our plates to the pull-up bar or the dip bars? How easy can we move ourselves? And that's what we're going to test right now. We're going to do this outside because it's a very nice weather here. So we're going to walk from the door to the pull-up bar. I'm going to do one pull-up and go back and see how easy it looks and how easy it feels. Okay, so that was a workout. Yeah, unless you're used to walking around with a heavy big ass nutsack, walking with the dip belt is more difficult. And yes, I'm using a loading pin, so the plates are horizontal and not vertical, but I still feel like that is roughly the same conclusion. It's much easier to walk with the weight vest. So yeah, W for the weight vest. The thing that I want to do is, what if we want to add weight? How easy can we do that? So we're going to go back to the two scenarios and compare the time with that. Yeah, I'm adding a lot of weight. I started with 30 kilograms because most weight vests are only like 20 kilograms. So we really want to show the benefit that we can at least add more than 20 kilograms. So we're starting at 30 kilograms and we're going to see how easy it is to change the weight to 40 kilograms. Yeah, we're only going to add weight in this example because the dropping weight is just like, ugh, just don't do it, right? We're just going to add weight. So yeah, I'm going to drop you guys again and we're going to see how we fare. Let's not talk about the hassle of getting the weight vest on, but changing weight onto the weight vest is actually pretty easy. You just have to unscrew it, put a new plate on, screw it back on, you're good to go. I think changeability of this one is definitely very easy. For the loading pin and the dip belt, you have to undo everything, put on the weight, and then do everything again. Fortunately for us, this is still an easy setup, but the W is clearly going to be, if you plan it correctly, for the weight vest. Speaking of changing weights, that's all good, but what if you are with two people? So then we have to add in the fact that you have to undo it, redo it, and change the weight in between that. I'm not going to go through all of that. So for the dip belt, what we have to do is we have to undo the dip belt, change the weight, or if the other person uses the same weight, just keep it like that, and then just redo everything. So the setup time times 2, very easy. For the weight vest, you have to undo the weight vest, then, and in my example, I feel like if you're going to undo the weight vest by yourself, you have to undo the front plate first because that makes it easier to get it over your head. So you have to undo the front plate, put the front plate on the side, then you have to put on the weight vest for the other person, redo the front plate again, and then your setup time is done. So I think we don't really have to test this. The W clearly goes to the loading pin. Okay, number 5, a very interesting one is going to be exercise selection. So we're going to compare a couple of exercises and see how easy it's going to be to get into the exercise and to actually do the exercise with either a dip belt or a weight vest. Now, the exercises we're going to test are mainly going to be calisthenics exercises because that's what I see myself using the weight vest or dip belt for. Now, the exercises we're going to do are the pull-up, the dip, the push-up and plank, and we're also going to do the squat and some lunges. And that way we're going to have a complete full body workout, and we can see how well each and every one fares. So I think it goes without saying that the W here definitely goes towards the weight vest because you can do a lot more exercises with it. The only downside I would think about the weight vest is that for pull-ups, if you go a bigger weight, you're probably going to be limited by the diameter of the plate because that's going to hit your biceps. But for all the other exercises, it's very nice. As it comes to the loading pin and the dip belt, well, of course you can't do squats or lunges with them. Maybe squats if you're like on an elevated surface and the weight is like in between your legs. That could work. Push-ups and planks, definitely not. Weight belt definitely wins this round. Now let's talk about pricing. Now the good thing that we go with the Kensu Easy vest is the fact that it's plate loaded. So it already comes without weight, just as the dip belt. The price of the Kensu weight vest was 160 euros. Very expensive in my opinion. And the loading pin plus the dip belt is like together 40 euros. So for me, the W here goes to the loading pin and the dip belt because they are a lot more price efficient. Okay, let's talk about materials now as a last piece before we wrap this video up. Material wise, I think the W also goes to the loading pin and the weight belt. So for reference, I have this weight belt. It's a cheap $20 weight belt from Amazon that I bought 10 years ago, and it still holds up strong. There's like nothing you could say about it. It's just a chain and a strap, right? And the strap it's just a couple of stitching, so nothing very intricate in terms of details. And then as we look at the loading pin, it's basically like a tube with an anchor point, a carabiner, and like a foot. So also very, very simple in build and nothing that really can fail on you long term. As we look at the weight vest, there are a lot of stitchings, there are a lot of buckles, there's Velcro on there. The knobs are even made out of plastic. Now, the plastic can be perfectly fine. I have plastic stuff here around in the home gym that lasted already 10 years, so that's not a problem. But I think that the complete package of all the materials together, it makes it for a less durable product rather than just like your dip belt and your loading pin. W for me, material wise and durability wise, really goes to the loading pin and the dip belt. So in conclusion, well, I'm a little bit biased because I really love my loading pin and dip belts, and I've had them for a very long time, and I'm so used to using them that for me it's a no-brainer that those one gets the overall win. That's good and all, but I still think that the weight vest has its merits, it has its use cases, and we saw that in section 5 where he talks about the exercises. If you want to do like weighted calisthenics exercises like squats, like lunges, instead of using a barbell, a weight vest can be a nice way to do some circuit training. So going from one exercise to the other, instead of having like 5 barbells laying around, all with a configuration of their own, you can just use your weight vest, go from one exercise to the other at the same place. You don't need a power rack to put it on. And it can be very simple also to do weighted walks, rocking and all that good stuff. I think the weight vest really has its place. But comparing it to the dip belt for the use cases of the dip belt, like pull-ups and dips, I think the weight vest lacks usability, lacks like changeability. But if you're using your weight vest and you're carrying that weight vest the whole training session or for all the exercises that you already use and you change the weight easily, you're by yourself, I can see that the weight vest really has its purpose and can really be beneficial if used properly. So for me, they both deserve a place. They both are very nice, but yeah, I have a special spot for the dip belt. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite is. Do you have both? Do you have either? What is your opinion on the matter? And I guess I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!